All right, what's up, guys? We are back with another podcast episode, and if my mic sounds a little bit funny, it's because I'm in an echoey Airbnb using a microphone that I would not normally use for a podcast. But, Will, we are only, let's see, it's the beginning of November. We only have 8 more episodes to finish the rest of the year, and we've literally hit every single week this year.
That's pretty crazy. That's probably the most consistent thing I think I've ever done. Pulled off, at least in the span of a year.
100%. There's for sure nothing else I have ever done that has been this consistent.
Has any other the other pickleball podcasts, have they been this consistent or not?
As far as I am aware, no. At least of the major ones that, I usually follow, I don't think anyone else has done. It's hard to do it weekly. Like, you and I have definitely had ones where, and I'm not complaining. I want to make that very clear. But there's definitely times where it's like we're tired or we just got back from a trip and it's like I really don't want to record a podcast right now. Like, I'm kind of tired and to still do it. It's like, looking back now, it feels nice to be like, oh yeah, we did that. Like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, knock on wood. Let's make sure we get it to the end of the year.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, there's nothing stopping me from recording 8 more episodes unless I die and get hit by like a bus, and if that happens, you better finish the last 8.
Okay. I'll finish the last 8. It's the least I could do because you've been consistent. I've missed a few where you've had to do some solos, so
you can just make up the difference. Yeah, if I'm gone.
Yeah, I'll make up the difference. Okay, guys, just watch now. By the end of the year, around Christmas time to New Year's, you're not gonna see Chris. He's like, all right, Will, you're on your own.
Last 4 podcasts. Nope, I'm gone.
Yeah, I paid my dues. Will, you're up. Okay, no problem.
That's right. Well, all right, we've got a bunch to talk about. We got a couple paddle updates. I am in California right now, so we're going to talk a lot about this trip because it's been a lot of fun. And then MLP finals, and then some updates about Nationals debuting a new type of draw. So we'll get right into it.
Let's get into it.
So first thing I want to talk about, because no one on the podcast has heard about this yet. If you're a real nerd or a real fan and you've been in the Discord, then you know about this. But no one else knows about this thing. There's a new company coming probably sometime early next year. They've been in development for most of 2023. I can't remember when I first started talking to them or when I first heard about them, but like somewhere within 2023 and very early on, they are working on a paddle where you can replace the raw carbon fiber face. So when your grit wears out, you can just go boom, boom, and your grit is fresh. And that's part of why I came to California.
I see. Is it that easy though? Is it as easy as peeling off a sticker and just slapping another one on?
Literally as easy. Like, I don't know how you could screw this up. Trust me, dude. I asked a lot of questions while I was here, and I had them do a bunch of demos in front of me, and I'm like, I am a horrible arts and crafts person. I've been terrible my entire life. Not even I could mess this up, and I suck at this stuff.
Okay, because I'm just imagining people right now who have, who are traumatized by trying to put, a screen protector or like a D-brand skin on their phone.
It's way easier than that, in my opinion.
Really?
Because I just had to put a screen protector on my new phone, and I sucked at doing it, and I had to pull it off and put it back on like a bunch of times.
Okay.
You could do this in
exciting.
less than 20 seconds. Like, take it off and put the new one on.
Okay, and so, man, I guess tell me more about it, because I have some questions, and if you have some more, maybe what you tell me will answer some of the questions that some of the other people out there that are listening have questions.
I mean, that's
this new product.
That's most of what I have, other than like I got to try it. The paddle plays fine. Like, that wasn't a complaint. They are still tweaking a couple things for the final design, but like pretty optimistic they'll get that taken care of, no problem. But like, this concept is going to be huge for pickleball. Like, I mean, can you think of a bigger complaint of paddles this year than like grit wearing out? Because I can't.
Well, I mean, delamination, core crushing.
Well, okay, yeah, that's where was I the last year? Apparently,
yeah, exactly. I mean, those are the big two.
Yeah,
right. From a performance standpoint, we're not talking about illegal paddles that are performing, like doing something absurd. It's usually the grit wearing down. So yeah, if you could fix this, and people have dreamt about this, and it kind of makes sense. It's very in line with, I guess, table tennis players. They
Yep.
can choose the padding, the foam, they could choose the rubber, they get to choose the wood. So is this company, what's the name of this company again? Reload. So is Reload only offering paddle faces, or are they offering other things too, like different cores that you can use, or were you just playing with just a regular PPP honeycomb core, different thicknesses in the core? What are they offering?
So they'll have, I don't know exactly how they're going to finalize it, but they will have a base that you get with the paddle, like the body of the paddle or whatever that you put the sheet on. And then I know they're interested in licensing it out to other companies. I don't know how that's going to work in the end or whatever, but I know that's stuff they're talking about and dabbling with, which in my mind makes sense. Like, think about, name any brand you like instead of having to come up with this yourself, you're like, well, just license it from these guys, like whatever brand powered by Reload or however you want to say it, like that would be huge.
Okay. All right. So that's pretty cool. So how did it play? Was it good? Was it bad? Mediocre? I don't know. Did it wow you or anything? Or
if you handed it to me and said nothing, like I had no idea what Reload was. Like if I just gave you the paddle and said, "We'll hit this," you would have zero idea that like it didn't change the characteristic of the paddle. Like basically I guess I don't know if I can share what the base was that I hit it on, but the style of paddle that I hit it on played how I would expect it to, like the regular paddle without a replaceable sheet. So it was good.
Okay.
It was good.
All right. So then my next question is, how does it look? Is there an edge guard, or is it edgeless? And when you put it on, or do you take off an edge guard and you put on the face and then you put the edge guard back on to protect it? Or
no, you literally just peel a sheet off and put it back down on, just like a regular paddle or whatever. So it's not anything you have to disassemble other than you peeling the sheet off.
Wow. Okay. Are they going to come with different grit levels, or?
I imagine they're just going to max it out to, what the legal limit is, but because I don't know why you would do different grit. Like, who's going to want a smoother one, right? Like, you only want it rougher usually.
I guess this is true, but I'm just thinking, like this goes back to close to the flip shot concept, right? Where you have one side like plays a certain way and you have another side playing a certain way, just like in table tennis, right? You have one side that's more sticky, right? So you can generate more spin, and then one side it's like less. So maybe, I don't know, you defend on one side better. I don't know. I'm just wondering.
Can you imagine somebody like, out there, I want paint grit on one side and I want raw carbon on the I'm just making something up. But
yeah, no, not paint grit, but like I could see, one side, like they want it really gritty, and the other side maybe not as much, just because maybe they hit a flatter shot on one side, or they hit a more looping shot on their forehand side versus their backhand side. So, I think there's some merits to it. If I was given the option, I would definitely probably experiment with it. So it's just kind of exciting to think about. And then, of course, this is all dependent upon their base core, how that plays. And
that's why I think it's going to be, in my mind, I think if they do go the route of licensing, I think that's going to be really good for them, because then you're not so stressed about having to make a perfect base. Like, let the companies who have already made a good base just slap your thing on it, and now you've got a good thing. Now, there are things that I don't know if I can talk about yet, but companies would have to tweak a couple small things to make it work perfectly. But I still think it's something manageable for most companies. So either way, concept, whenever this thing launches, going to be awesome. That's like most of the reason I came out here was so I could see this. And then, MLP was supposed to be here, and then they decided to go, we're going to Dallas.
Yeah, I could have gone to MLP, which we will talk about in a bit, but I don't know. It was just, we're going to be there in Nationals next week, and I don't know, I didn't want to drive 4 hours just to stay there for I don't know, a day
Yeah.
or a week and come back and then go back, because going back on Wednesday, right? You're coming in on Wednesday, right?
Yep.
Okay. I'll probably be there Wednesday sometime as well. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But that's super cool though. I'm a little jealous. I wanted to try it. I want to see the adhesion, process, and also taking it off as well to see how, I don't know, cumbersome that could be. And also when you take it off, is it like, does the adhesion wear off? Because, when I take some sort of sticker or something off, or adhesive off, or vinyl, I'm always afraid that some dust or something will get into it. And then when I adhere it back onto the surface again, it's not the same, or there's some bubbles, bubbles. Oh my gosh. Does that happen to you? Or
I don't know what I'm allowed to say for this part, but what I will say is I was extremely impressed, and we'll just leave it at that part.
All right. Fair enough. All right, maybe we should move on.
I asked a lot of questions, like basically all the questions you're asking. I asked these, and I got demos of it. Like they had answers for all these things, so I was impressed.
Okay, all right. So they've been working on it hard.
They've been cooking.
So this is not just some like gimmick, like trying on. They've really thought this through and really improved the experience. Okay, well that's exciting, dude. Guys, so many exciting things are coming in the paddle world.
Yeah.
Next year or soon to come. Soon to be.
For sure.
All right, but we're not talking about the future. Let's talk about a little bit more about the present. The next thing we have on the list is the Hyperion C2.
Yes.
All right. You said here in the notes that it actually felt pretty good.
Yeah.
I haven't hit it yet, so tell me more about it. Where did you hit it with it when you were in California?
Yeah, so I went out to a store called the Pickleball Exchange. I know the guy that owns the place, so I just wanted to go visit. And they actually have like a skinny singles court inside the thing, so you can hit there. It's like
I've seen it.
It's sick. Yeah, so super cool guy. I got to try the 14 and the 16, and I'm on a smaller court. I probably hit with it for 5 minutes. But in that 5 minutes of hitting it, I was like, I actually kind of like how this feels. So I still haven't gotten confirmation if it's just a Perseus with a shape change. Like that's not exactly clear to me yet. That's kind of what the specs allude to. But for some reason, it just...
You think it's different?
I don't know. But I was just like, if it's different, it's not drastically different. But it was enough for me to kind of hit it. And I was like, ooh, like... This is nice. I don't know. It felt pretty good. So I kind of want to get my hands on it now and play with it a little bit more. I don't know if I would be able to review it for the end of the year because there's too many paddles. But I will say, for as quiet of a launch as they did, I was like, it's actually kind of nice.
Pretty good. Do you know what it's going for in price? Is it the same?
Pretty sure it's $250.
Okay. I bet you it's the same.
It has to be. I mean, I can't imagine it's not. But it is weird. Like, it's weird to release it in that shape because it's not that different from the Perseus shape.
Who knows? Yeah, and if they changed it drastically enough, then they would have made more of a fuss about it. At least that's what I would expect.
Imagine Ben was just like, I liked the old shape better. Just give me that back.
Could be. All right, Ben, you got it. Is his name still on it?
I actually can't remember. I remember one of them had Simone's name on it, and part of me wants to say yes, but I really wasn't paying that close of attention to it. Like, I was just hitting the paddle.
Dude, it's just the Hyperion with a better constructed handle and, the new aesthetics. I bet you that's what it is.
I mean, more than likely, it would not surprise me. We're not when I say it was nice, I'm not sitting here going like, oh my gosh, it was a completely different paddle. Definitely, like, if anyone is listening to this, do not think like, oh, I should go buy this because it's going to be like it's not like that. But it was nice.
Okay.
Enough to take me from uninterested to, I kind of want to see this some more.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. And then next up, we got the 6-0 Infinity.
Yep. We can't say much about this one, but I just had two quick... You don't have it yet, right?
I do have it.
Oh, you do have it. Did you get it like in the last couple days?
Yeah, I got it in like the last couple days.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Only things I wanted to say about it, one, a lot of people are asking about this. I think by now people know it's going to be an edgeless paddle. Basically the only real thing I wanted to say, and only thing I can probably really comment on, is that for an edgeless paddle, it feels really premium. Like, and edgeless paddles to me, I've never really cared about. And I'm not saying I do now because of this, but I will say just, it's kind of one of those things where when you put it in your hand, I feel like you'll feel the difference. It just feels really nice. I still haven't gotten to evaluate performance a ton, but I do think Braden's talked about it. He actually gave them some suggestions in the past about where to place a little bit of weight. And I had a pre-production of one of these that I hit, and this is definitely nicer than the pre-production. So
okay, so they've improved upon it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if they took his suggestion, it was a really good suggestion, and I don't know. I wish I could show you guys this thing because it's
they'll see it soon enough.
They'll see it soon enough, but it's a pretty sexy paddle.
Yeah, I saw it. It's pretty nice. The paint job on it, it's just clean. I mean, it's kind of hard to mess up black paddle.
Yeah.
With a little bit of color,
yeah.
if you can even call it that.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that comes soon.
Yeah.
That's November 10th. So if anyone's curious about that. Oh, actually, one thing I didn't put in the notes, but I'll just mention it here. I didn't hit this for very long, literally talking maybe 8 drops. But I got to hit that head radical raw. Didn't feel like a bad paddle, but also didn't feel like a special paddle. So if anyone was curious about it, if you liked head paddles or you just like head as a brand, I think the paddle's fine. It probably struck me as like mostly a Gen 1-ish raw carbon fiber paddle from the hits I did. Have you hit it?
Yeah. There's a guy named Doug here in town. He's a big head guy, and he has it, and he brought it to open play one night, and I got to hit with it a little bit, and I have kind of the same thoughts that you did, but it looks good though.
It does look, it's funny. It's just that orange edge guard. Like, it's not even anything crazy, but it does just look nice.
It makes all the difference.
It does.
It really does.
Yeah. I mean, especially when you're in a crowded market of just black paddles. I just pulled it up. I didn't know the price, but $170 is the price on it. I think they do have a longer handle version of it as well. So yeah, I mean, if you liked head paddles, cool, but I don't think you're going to be like, wow, this is a game changer.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Agreed.
Cool. All right. Well, those were most of the paddle updates. So after that, I've just got a bunch of stories from California because, dude, it's been wild out here.
Man. Yeah, I can't wait to hear all about it, even though I kind of know all about it already.
We made a mistake. We talked a little bit too much during my trip. I didn't think about this. I should have been like, no, you're not hearing anything until the podcast.
Yeah.
That would have been the smart way.
We'll have to do another trip like together out there so we can talk about it where it's all fresh. Or you'll just have to do another trip somewhere and not tell me. Or I do a trip somewhere and don't tell you. And then we can talk about it.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so anyways, like I said, guys, I was out here to meet the Reload guys, and then MLP was supposed to be here. Once it got moved, I was like, I really don't feel like changing my trip around. So I was like, I'll just stay there for the week.
Good thing you didn't.
No, this is way better.
Way better that you stayed.
Yeah. No, completely agree. This
MLP is overrated.
Whoa, okay. Now this guy's getting into some hot takes. There's someone already typing in the comments. Someone's angry now.
Oh, I already know. People are going to be angry already because I'm going to tell them that I didn't watch all of it. I watched like a semifinal match and the finals match. So and it's
okay. That's about for it. MLP. That's about all I feel like I really need usually. In fact, that's all I caught this tournament as well. Granted.
Well, yeah, because you were too busy out there in LA being a star, apparently. Dude, you guys don't know this, but one of my buddies who was hanging out with Chris out there just sent me photos. And dude, Chris has groupies out there. Oh my gosh. Does your wife know about this? All the photos of these, these men, they're like, oh my gosh, Chris, can we take a photo with you?
Here's the thing. I don't think it's very difficult for Sarah to handle any of this because before this, it was just young kids. It was the same exact thing, but just like teenagers. Like when I was into speed cubing and I was younger, same exact thing, but now it's just older people. The only area that I think it would become problematic is if all of a sudden it was a lot of women my age doing this. But I think based on this trip, actually, hang on, I'm trying to think. I could be forgetting like one or two people. So if I am, I'm sorry. But I think pretty much every woman I've played pickleball with on this trip, none of them knew who I was. It was always the guys. like maybe one, maybe one or someone who would like, but that is kind of funny to think about. I must have a very high male ratio of people that watch my channel. but yeah, anyways, I think it would only be problematic if it was like a lot of like girls my age. So
what if it was gay men? You don't know.
So, I mean,
would Sarah have a problem with that?
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know? Is that why Sarah's been playing more pickleball? Is so she can just trounce on these guys? And
you want to hear a funny story, actually?
Yeah, tell me.
So she has, she's only gone to one open play without me, like where she went to a facility and was like, I'm just going to go play pickleball. So she went and played another one this weekend, and she texted me and she was like, yeah, there was this guy that I guess like collects quite a bit of paddles, and he was like, hey, you want to try any paddles? And Sarah was like, no, I'm good. And then she was like, all I could think about after that was your office with just literally every paddle on the market.
And Sarah's like, no, I'm good. I don't need to try anything. I have them all. That's what she should just say that now. I was like, no, I have all of these.
That would have been like really funny.
I own that.
Yeah.
I have these. This is not that good. This is all right. This is a good one.
That would be really funny if she knew paddles that well. It's funny. The paddle she
doesn't even have to. She doesn't even have to. She just pretend. It doesn't even matter.
I mean, that's fair. The paddle she uses right now, too, it's not even...
What's she using right now?
It's what the Prism was before the Prism became the Prism. Like, it's a prototype of the Prism.
The Neo.
Yeah.
Yes, when they called it, like, the Neo or something before they changed the name to the Prism. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so she's just been on that. And sometimes she'll be like, oh, can I, like, try another paddle? And she always goes back to that one. But I haven't tried to give her too many. Like, I feel like if I gave her a Prism, she'd probably like it, but I just haven't. Like, if you like it, whatever. Fair. Like, you're playing rec. No one's gonna care that it's a prototype.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's go into your first story, your first thoughts, because I definitely cut you off before we went in. So
nah, you're good.
What's the first thing you want to take away?
First thing I got to say about LA, here's the, I've been here many times. I have some friends here that I usually see at least once a year, but every time I have come here, I have always stayed with them, and they have driven me around, okay? This trip, when I got here, I had to go straight from the airport to Santa Monica at like 9 a.m. It was fine, like 40-minute drive, no issues. And I've sat in some LA traffic, but dude, 5 p.m. rolls around. I have to be back in like the Cerritos area, which again, like 40-minute drive with no traffic. 2 hours. 2 hours to get back.
Welcome to LA.
Unbearable. I don't know how they do it here. In fact, I asked some people who I played pickleball. I was like, how do you guys do it? And they were like, well, usually we listen to like your podcast. And they're like, if they were longer, it would make it even easier. So this podcast is probably going to be like the LA supercut. So for any of you stuck in traffic right now, this is for you, because that's all I could do in traffic.
Are you trying to time this podcast so that it's like 2 hours long so they can get from point A to point B?
Dude,
and they didn't.
You know how like when people go to other countries, you kind of like a lot of times you come back with a different perspective of like what that area of the world is like. That's what I feel like I experienced with LA. I was like, you guys need longer. You need long podcasts. Like 40 minutes is only half of your drive. I was like, I feel like I came back with a new perspective of like, oh my gosh, this traffic is insufferable. Like I've had to sit in it at least 4 times this trip. I hate it. Yeah. It's not fun.
Yeah. It's the worst. I know. I forgot. We should have looked it up. How much time do SoCal people waste in traffic?
Too much.
Like in the year. It probably is like a couple days if you totaled it all up.
Easily. Like, dude, I don't know how you guys deal with the traffic out here. I don't know if the beaches make it worth it or what, but like, that's not for me. Don't drive in the evening. That's all I learned, basically. You've got to go somewhere around 4 or 5 p.m. Just stay home.
So did you make it to your destination? Were you going straight there to go play pickleball, or what?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I was like an hour late. I went to meet up with...
An hour late.
Yeah. I went to meet up with our friend Nam, and then also Jeremy, who none of you know, but you all kind of know his work. He was the guy that basically invented 3-5 at best. So
yes, the father.
Yes, basically when I came to LA like a year and a half ago, him and his friends would always be like, "Oh, like that guy's 3-5 at best," and then like I'm pretty sure you started saying it independently of him even commenting on my channel.
No. I don't know. Well, maybe, but after he said it, I might have said it independently, but then after he said it in the comments of the video that I posted of us playing, I was like, see, look, Jeremy said it too. And then after that, I just stuck with it. And then I definitely, popularized it. And I made sure to make it stick. And it stuck.
Yeah.
And it's here to stay. You're 3-5 forever now.
So you can all blame Jeremy. And leading up to this trip, Jeremy was talking a lot of trash. He was talking a lot of pickleball trash. People are always telling me, they're like, Minnesota 4-5 doesn't stack up to a California 4-5 or a Florida 4-5. It's like the same thing, guys. I played with so many 4-5s and 5-0s this trip, and there was only one play session this whole trip, and it was the one where I was the most exhausted. Where I was like, I didn't ask anyone their level. I'm just assuming they're all around like 4-5, 5-0. And I was like, okay, yeah, like these guys are really good. But like Jeremy's group, I could keep up with just fine. Nam's group, keep up with just fine. Everyone's great. I love playing with everyone. But yeah, so I think he does have the winning streak on me technically on this trip. Like I think Jeremy has like, I don't know, 3-2 or 3-1. I don't know what the game record was. But all I know is I was supposed to play with him tonight or this morning. And he was like, oh man, the courts are full. And then in the evening, like I'm helping out a buddy. And I was like, you just don't want to lose your record. And I was like, I see how it is, Jeremy. I see. He's going to be in his car listening to this, probably in traffic, and he's gonna be like, "That's not what it was." But you know what? He's stuck in a car, and I'm not. So
that's true. That's right. Haha, sucker. But who has the last laugh now?
Yeah, exactly. But the first group of play was awesome. I got to meet a lot of his friends. Played pickleball with a bunch of people. Super fun group. In fact, the first night I was there, I've been practicing my lob a lot, like out of the air. Dude, just kept lobbing everyone. And it was those types of lobs where, I don't want to say easy, but like, it's those types of lobs where they jump, they miss, and like they just, after that, they can't do anything. And then the second day when I came back, I tried to do this, bro, it was just gone. Like all my magic, I kept getting pelted by overheads.
Oh, they saw it coming now, so they're like, nope, not today.
They were ready. So, that was the first, play of pickleball. Basically how this trip ended up working is I would do some work in the morning and then, meet some people in the afternoon, and then I would play pickleball in the evening usually. So one of the
and suffer through traffic.
Oh, dude, I feel like it hurts me thinking about it right now. I'm like, I can imagine every time I've had to sit in this traffic, I'm just get really tired, and I just want to. It's bad. I don't know how people do it, but anyways. One of the other nights, I got to give a big shout out to this group from iPickle. So our friend Justin, he was like, "Hey, you want to play? Like, I can get you out here. Let's play." So I went out there, dude. I show up. First of all, this facility is awesome. I don't know how many courts they had. It had to be like at least 20. There's a bunch of courts. Very nice courts. They had like a whole sign that was like, "Welcome to Pickleball Studio." I was like, "You guys are too much." I was like, "You're way too nice." Like.
Dope, but that's dope. That's cool. It's a good feeling, right? That happened to me when I went to Connecticut, and Donko had it at his facility. They put up a sign in the front as well. "Welcome, Pickleball Will." So that stuff is hilarious. Dude, but it's cool that they made that for you.
Since I never went to public school, I was like homeschooled growing up or whatever. Like in this moment, one, because of that sign, but also a bunch of people like showed up because I was there. Like the guy who was running it, his username on Instagram is actually Right Side Will. He's the guy that kind of like owns the place. Super nice guy, amazing player, really good guy. But he was like, dude, I was texting all these group chats. I already had plans for the night, and I was like, nope, Chris is in town. We're changing all the plans.
Everybody come over to iPickle now.
So basically, and so I say all of this, or I mention all of the homeschool stuff, because I was like, is this what it felt like to be like the popular pretty girl in school? I was like,
yes. That's you.
This attention feels unwarranted. I would tell people, I'm like, dude, I'm just a normal guy. Like, one guy literally messaged me. He saw I was in California, and he was like, dude, if you are playing in the middle of the day, I will literally leave work and come play with you. And I was like, please do not leave your job to come play pickleball with me.
Oh, you should have done it. That would have been a story to tell. Because then you could have asked him afterwards, so, did you lose your job? Did anybody find out? Like, you know.
Could have brought him on the pod.
You could have brought him on the pod. Exactly. You know, that could have been the next podcast title. Man loses his job for, playing cookie from work to meet up with Chris Olsen from the Pickleball studio.
Yeah, that would have been crazy. But yeah, I was like, guys, like I was very flattered, but I was like, no, guys, I'm just a normal guy. But one guy, two quick stories from iPickle. There was one guy that came late, and he has bought like 70 paddles, and Will was like, dude, this guy basically just watches your videos and then buys the paddle. And I was like, I'm gonna like bankrupt someone. And then another guy shows up. I don't think he knew I was coming. He was there for like an open play. They filmed it. I saved the Instagram story. But he walks up to me.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, dude.
It was the Deep Dinker.
Dude.
His IG is, I think, is Deep Dinker. But for those of you who don't know, that one podcast episode where I was wearing the One Piece pickleball shirt and then the Nezuko pickleball shirt, it's like an anime shirt that he made like pickleball related. That's the guy. He designs those shirts and he sells them. He's the one who sent them to me.
So that's the guy that made or has bought like 70 paddles or however many it was. But there was another guy. He shows up and he goes, dude, I've only been playing pickleball for a month and I've already bought 6 paddles because of you.
6?
Dude.
A month. He bought 6? What did he buy?
I believe he had that I saw he had a Control Air, and I think he had a 006. I was like, bro, wow. You're balling in your first month. You're not even buying a Vatic. You just sent it.
He's going all out. Yeah, he just sent it. Easy. If you think about it, they're cheap.
I mean, I guess depending on what your income level is, but I was like, this trip was really interesting for me because I felt it's different when you read comments of people saying certain things or like stuff about your content, but when you meet them, it's a whole different experience. Like when someone tells you they have been in pickleball for a month and they've already bought 6 paddles because of your reviews. I was like, I don't know if I should feel good or bad about this.
Nah, you should feel good. It means you're doing your job well.
Maybe.
I mean, he bought good paddles.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't buy bad paddles, I guess.
He bought good paddles, so
he didn't buy a Franklin.
Or a Z5.
Z5. True.
See, or an Adidas paddle. I don't know.
Yeah. So, anyways, at iPickle had a ton of fun. There were so many great people that played there. I really enjoyed meeting all of you guys. Appreciate the hospitality. I do have 2 stories that I want to tell really quick. Our friend Nam, he's pretty good at doubles, but singles. Here's the thing, you got to know this about me. First of all, I love to talk trash. If I feel that I am a good enough friend with you or that we can have some fun, I will talk trash. Not like
he's not lying.
Not to be like mean. It's like it's all in good fun. So Nam is a good doubles player, but singles, I was like, I don't think you got it, man. I don't think you're in singles. So I said, I will buy you bubble tea if you can get 1 point on me in singles.
Whoa, wait, hold up. It's boba tea.
Nah.
Bubble tea.
if you guys in the comments, you let me know if it's bubble tea or boba, because I got corrected on that while I was here, and everyone says boba. It's bubble tea. Stop.
If you say it in SoCal, it's boba for sure. They probably roasted you for it.
I got roasted for a lot of things. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
My Asian card may have gotten taken away on this trip. But I told him, I was like, dude, if you can get 1 point on me, I'll buy you bubble tea, or you buy me if I lose.
Okay.
I'm not gonna name the paddle he was using, but let's just say that paddle gives a bit of an advantage, and the man only managed to score 1 point.
Okay, so he got you though.
He got me, but if we did this 5 times, I think I win. I win that more times than I lose it.
Okay. You mean win as in like he doesn't score a point because that was the parameter of the game.
Correct.
Like he does not score a single point.
Correct.
So you're saying you played him 5 times, you would pickle him 5 times,
I think I could do like
10.
3 times.
Oh wow.
It was here's the thing. He's also probably in his car listening to this. I love that this is my image of everyone in California, that they're just in a car. But
Yeah.
because we already had this argument. He's like, I stopped trying after I got the point. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. It was still 11-1, man. You should have tried.
Yeah. 11-1. It's not a good look now.
You picked the wrong guy to not try against.
Now you're probably not gonna stop telling him, like, just rub it in his face. It's like, all right, you only got 1 point, 11-1, because that's not a good score to end on. But also at the same time, he's just gonna double down on. It's like, yo, my point of the game was to score 1 point.
That's exactly what he has doubled down on, because I've already made fun of him, and he's like, bro, all I had to do was get 1 point. It didn't matter. I was like, whatever makes you sleep at night, Nam. Whatever makes you sleep.
Okay.
But
okay.
Anyways, last story from the iPickle group. We went to dinner. Somehow Chopsticks, we went to like some Asian restaurant, and somehow Chopsticks got brought up. I can't use chopsticks.
Oh, yeah, I know you can't.
So I think someone was like, how bad could it be? Let's see. Bro, I picked them. I just put them in my hand and they start making fun of me. I'm not even picking up food yet. They filmed all of this too. And I'm like, first of all, let me get a couple things straight. Eating fried rice with chopsticks is a horribly inefficient way to eat fried rice.
This is true. Nobody does that.
No, and that's what I was trying to eat, and they're all making fun of me for it.
You got set up to fail, for sure.
Did.
Like, that was, why did they ask you to use chopsticks on fried rice?
Well, that's just what I ordered, but they were like, how bad can it be?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you made it, you got real bad. Real bad.
Here's the thing. I'm like, guys, a spoon, it's a big shovel. Do you want to dig dirt with a pickaxe, or do you want to dig it with a shovel? Shovel. You're gonna get more dirt done at once. Like, just makes sense in my mind. But yeah, everyone was like, I got so many Instagram messages after that got posted that was like, holy cow,
hilarious.
This guy's like a 1.5 Asian. It's like,
well, I'm glad that you did it all good fun. I'm glad we can laugh about this. Yes. It's actually hilarious.
And also, yeah, thanks to Right Side Will for filming a bunch of Instagram stories, because I was saying this would have been a really fun vlog or video to make of this trip, because it was just, this trip kind of like embodied to me like what pickleball is about, where it's like, you meet these people, you have fun. Should be. Yeah, like I worked very light this trip. Like, we're talking most days I probably worked like 2 hours out of the day, and then a lot of it was, seeing people playing pickleball. But it really gave me a good appreciation of like, oh yeah, like, this is why we like this sport so much. Not that I didn't know that, but it's like I got to experience it again, and it was a ton of fun.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, this weekend as well, small story for my pickleball endeavors for this weekend. I didn't do all too much, and partly is because I was, trying to recover from the emotional damage that I had, accepted from watching the finals season, or the final show episode for an anime for Attack on Titan, which just ended in like 10 years, and I literally cried. And like, for those of you out there who are listening, if you know, you know. Anyways, so
really quick,
I didn't do much.
Before you go on, I really thought you were gonna say that it was because of seeing how bad I was at using chopsticks.
Oh no. No, Chris, I wasn't gonna do that to you. That'd be a little too much, even for me. And trust me, I know how bad you are. I've seen it. But nah, I can't.
So funny.
You're still my Asian brother. No matter what anybody says, chopstick usage, at a 1.5 level or not.
Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
Okay. Anyways, so I got a call from a buddy of mine. His name is Lyric. He is like a member of the ORU, like his pickleball club. There's a local university, and they had like a local tournament, and it was I think they had like, it was their first local tournament, and they had like 75 people like show up.
Wow.
And he wanted me to come to actually play with them for this tournament. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna come with you. They're all like beginners, like maybe 3.5, literally like 3.5 at best. Some of them might be close to 4.0 level, but anyways, I came there and I've been meaning to do this, but I brought them like a bunch of paddles and I just like gave it to them. I think I gave them, I don't know, I want to say like 15 to 20 plus paddles from Volaire, bread and butter, etc. And it was just cool. They lit up. They were like, oh my gosh, yes. And all they wanted to do was just play and just have fun. It was just kind of cool to see. And I mean, I hit with them afterwards, the champions of that tournament. Like I know them. They wanted to challenge me. It's like, oh dude, we're on high. We got to play against Pickleball Will now. Let's go. Yeah, nah. I was like, yeah, you guys aren't. Yeah, it was like I could beat you guys 2-on-1. This is too easy. This isn't happening, guys. This isn't happening. But it was fun. But that's what I love, man. I love like watching the game and the sport grow and like meeting the people and seeing them have fun and just get excited about, you know, smacking this ball over a net. You know what I mean?
For sure. I mean, yeah, the iPickle group, I really liked all those people. There was just so many people that came and played. I just had a great time. I felt, and I think what's cool is, I mean, pretty much every group I played in this weekend, I just felt very like comfortable around everyone. I've definitely been in groups since like starting content creation where I'm kind of like, oh man, like I kind of have to go like really try hard here because otherwise people are going to be like, oh, like he's not that good or whatever.
He's not that good.
I felt like I could kind of just
established yourself.
Well, not even that. It's just like the people were so nice that I was like, oh, I just kind of like didn't care. I was like, oh, just like we're just having a good time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get it because we are like the other average players out there just kind of like playing, having fun.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? That's what it feels like. We're not like a pro that you're
right
playing with or against, you know what I mean?
Yep.
We're just like you. We're out there, we're playing, we're trying to have some fun. We just happen to make videos about pickleball. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, yeah, so the last thing I really have, at least so far, I technically leave tomorrow, but I also went to a facility called Los Cab, I believe, and everyone since I have been here was like, dude,
tells you about that.
Yeah, they're like, you gotta go, you gotta
go.
go.
To Los Cab.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, like,
what's so special about it?
It's just huge. There's like 40 courts.
Oh wow, that's a lot. I mean, I've seen some photos. I just didn't know how many courts were there. So it's the size of like the Legacy Pickleball Center in Arizona, because I think that has around 40 courts.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty close to that. I think the courts out there are probably spaced a little bit better. It wasn't bad there, but like I think Legacy does have a little bit more space. But yeah, it's a really cool facility. I know they host some PPAs there, so I was like, oh, okay, like this would be a good venue for that. And I got in through a guy named Mike Fahey. I think that's how you say his last name. So shout out to him. He had messaged me and was like, dude, it's like, you should come out here. I can get you in for free. So I went out, played a lot with him, played some mixed initially. That was a lot of fun. He's a really good player. But dude, by this point, I had played so much pickleball by the time I got to this that I was just gassed. Like I probably played for like an hour and was like, I could be done now because I just don't have anything left. But there, a bunch of people wanted, I would say of any group I went to, this group really wanted to play games with me. So I was like, he kept hopping back on court or whatever. And I totally can't remember this guy's name. I'm so sorry that I can't remember this guy's name, but I did laugh.
Chris.
This guy shows up, Vatic Pro shirt. And he's like, hey, Chris, look what paddle I'm using. He didn't even say anything about a shirt. I just saw it. It's a Vatic Pro shirt. And he's like, hey, look what paddle I'm using. And it was a 6-0.
What's he using?
And I was like, bro, that's a hate crime. I was like, you can't
blasphemy.
You can't wear that shirt and use that paddle. I was like, that's messed up.
You take a photo of it? Are you gonna snitch to him to the owners?
Dude, I joked that I was going to, but I completely forgot to get a picture with him before I left. But I was like,
he was smart. He knew.
Yeah, he covered his tracks well.
And the fact that you forgot his name, like now, no one will ever know.
Dude, I feel so bad. It's so hard to remember everyone's names.
Well, I mean,
he's a cool guy, though.
All the people you meet, it's hard.
Yeah,
I get it.
But no, he was super cool, and he was my last game of the night. I hadn't played with him, and I was like, oh, I'm done, guys. Like, I'm not playing anymore. And he was like, no, man. Like, I really wanted to play with you. Like, let's get a game. And I was like, okay. He was like, we'll only go to 7. And I was like, okay. Like, okay. I'm in like my hoodie or whatever. Like, I'm like, I hadn't played in probably 30 minutes. I was like, I'll just play a quick game. It'll be really casual. It's him and this 15-year-old named Avery. And I was like, okay, we'll play. We're down like 0-4. And I notice in the corner of my eye that at least 4 people are filming this game. And I was like, no. I was like, we're playing a
Can't have my clout ruined.
not even clout, but I was...
My honor.
Yes, it was more that. My competitive side came out. So I was like, we're playing a full game to 11 now. And so we ended up playing the full game to 11. They're up 10-6.
Wait. When did you decide that you were going to switch from 7 to a full game 11? When you were down 0-4, or did it get to like 5, 6?
They probably got to... Like, it was like maybe 2-5. And then I was like, okay, we're playing to 11. Because I was like, I'm not ending this night losing like 2-7. I was like, that's embarrassing. So it's like, this is probably the only time this trip that I got actually competitive and really didn't want to lose. Everything else was pretty just like, just having fun or whatever. This was still a fun game. But like, I got serious. They were up 10-6. We ended up winning 12-10. And I was like, ooh, all right.
Okay.
I can sleep happy tonight. And I don't know if Avery listens to this podcast or not. I couldn't really tell if she had seen my stuff before this or not. I honestly couldn't tell. But if she listens to this, dude, she's a really good player. Like, I hope the gameplay gets posted somewhere because she's like a reset monster. I was like, did not matter what ball I hit. It just came back.
Yeah, but also, I mean, you don't hit that hard, so... It's okay.
If I could say the paddle I had in my hand, which was not a gearbox, you know what paddle it is.
Oh,
we're not gonna name it here, but it's a power paddle. We'll just say that.
Okay, you're right. Okay, dang, if she was resetting that, then she's a reset machine.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's really good. She's a really good player. Like, I feel like if you had 2 of me and 2 of her, and like we played against each other, like those games would be extremely competitive. Like I actually haven't played with someone that might not be true. I can only think of
that young?
Yeah, I can only think of one other time maybe. And it's a very different experience. I don't know how to explain it. I think I'm just so used to, usually it's older adults. It's often even people older than me playing pickleball, that when you play someone that's like 13 years younger than you, it didn't change my outlook on the game or anything. I wasn't like playing it differently. It's just different. Like, have you played anyone that young before?
I mean, I am that young person that plays although duels, so I don't know what you're talking about. No, Chris, I haven't played anybody who's 10 years old, if that's what you're asking.
Well, I am gonna call out this guy and see how long it takes him to listen to the pod. Because who was that guy in Hawaii that said he made it to the kitchen on every episode? Because he never commented.
I don't remember his name either. Eric? It might have been Eric.
I totally can't remember, but whatever it was, he never made it. So I'm going to see how long it takes this person to hear this comment and see if they message me. But Davis Pickleball, he thought you were like 19 as well. Like, I know. Like a week or 2 ago.
Yeah? Did you meet up with Davis? No, he's not.
No, he's further north.
Okay, gotcha. So he's in NorCal. Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, dude, you're a child in everyone's mind. Like, you're just young. You look young.
I know, it is what it is. What can I say? But in all seriousness, I haven't played anybody like that young in quite some time, like teenager. I guess the last person was probably Alex Trung, and I think I can't remember. I might have hit with Lauren Mercado. She plays pro. She's been partnered with Pesa. And she's from Las Vegas, so she's been playing pro. So I've hit with her, but yeah, not really. Although I want to play more. I just want to see what the kids are up to, what they can do. You know what I mean? And who have just kind of picked up playing, who don't have prior racket sport experience, except for just pickleball, because that's always fascinating to me, because sometimes you might see something that you haven't seen before, or they do something that's interesting. You know?
For sure. No, she's a very good player. I really enjoyed playing against her. It was
that's awesome.
the only person to bring out my competitive side this weekend, my very serious competitive side.
Okay. All right. Well, you'll have to go back again. We'll have to go back again.
Yeah. It'd be fun for us both
Yeah.
to come here. There's a lot of people.
Do
It'd be fun.
I do. I think the last time I was in SoCal was earlier this year, like around New Year's time. I visited Justin and stuff, but I didn't know a lot of the people like out there. I didn't really get a chance to explore all the other courts and whatnot. And I wasn't there for that long. So yeah, no, we'll definitely go out there. I definitely want to go there. I want to go to NorCal and play up there, as I want to play everywhere. But yeah, I definitely had FOMO, like you out there, and I was like, man, I should be out there playing because like, you know, I know like, you know, Nam and Justin are our friends, but like, you know, like Justin is like my friend. First I introduced you to Justin. It's like, dang, yo, you're out there, you're playing with my friend. Like, you know what I mean? That's what it felt like.
You're getting territorial. You're like, wait, he's gonna take my friend.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, nah.
That's so funny. I will say, after this trip, I think California might be the biggest pickleball studio fan state. And like, not, I mean that in like the best way. Like, I have not been anywhere where people were like, I don't know, the hospitality was very nice. Everyone, California pickleball is awesome. I'm going to come here a couple times a year because that was a lot of fun.
Okay.
I feel like I made a lot of good friends on this trip. So
okay. Before we go next time, we'll have to do a few training sessions, and I'll have to teach you how to use chopsticks. You know, we'll be all right. I can't. Like, the thing is like we go there, we make some bets or something, right? And we lose, and we have to pay for boba. Where you go to an Asian restaurant, and like I was like, dude, this can't be my partner who can't use like it's not gonna happen.
Maybe instead of like working on like one of my blocks or something, maybe that's what I need to train. I need to train chopsticks, and then we'd be fine.
Yeah, exactly. You can't embarrass me like that, Chris. Dude. It's not happening. I won't allow it.
Speaking of embarrassment, this should be the last story I have. At Los Cobb, when I was playing, I was playing with Nam, and they just happened to catch this on video. But someone hit they hit a third shot drive, and I just went to swing. I just completely missed the ball.
Yeah, you know, it happens maybe, you know, twice a quarter with you.
It was like, so funny. Like, the way they edited it, too, it just cracked me up. I was like, wow, I look really stupid.
It always, for some reason, it only happens, like, when a camera is pointed at you that you completely whiff a ball. I feel like in your reviews, when we went to, was the tournament in Florida we went to? Was it Nationals?
U.S. Open.
U.S. Open, yeah, U.S. Open. I caught you. You totally whiffed that Ernie jumper when you were playing with your brother. So, like, it's always caught on camera that you whiff a ball completely.
Here's the thing. I really like that I have this trait that I can kind of just make fun of myself, because it's so much nicer to be able to see that and laugh rather than see that and be like, wow, I'm so mad that everyone sees me suck. Like, I don't know. It's just funny to me now. I'm like, yep, that feels on brand.
No, trust me, it's funny to everybody else as well. So we thank you for it. So you can experience it, and we can experience it through you, but not, you know, feel the embarrassment. So that's great. Yeah. Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
Burdening this for us. You know?
If that's what it takes. But all right, Will.
Yeah. All right.
We've officially made it to the kitchen. We got two things we want to talk about. We want to talk about the progression draw, which is a new format that's being debuted at Nationals.
Yeah.
And we won't get to see a handful of it because we get there a couple days late. But
yeah,
let's go over this. So were you familiar with this before this announcement? I guess I was, because it's how tennis does it. But like, I didn't know it was called this.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know it was called this either, but I was familiar with it. Yeah, because obviously I play tennis as well, and I follow tennis, and this is how it works in tennis. But yeah, when they announced it, I was just, I don't know. I guess one of those things, like, don't knock it till you try it. But my initial impressions was it's not good for the players, or at least that's what I thought. Not good for the players.
Recap it for people who don't know what it is real quick.
Okay, so basically, instead of playing, you know, when you go to a tournament now, if you play men's, one whole entire day, and then it finishes, right? Except for the pros, they play the championship on Sundays, and then you play women's doubles, that's on another day, and then mixed is on another day, and you play out, and basically you play a tournament a day. the beginning and the end of the tournament happens within a full day. But with the progression draw, and I think I'm assuming they're just doing this for pros.
Yeah, it's only for pros. There's no way they can do this for amateurs.
Okay. Right, and they do this for pros. Okay, and then championship is played on Sunday. Now with the progression draw, the difference is now that apparently, according to the post that I saw, is that you play one game per event, like per day.
Yeah.
Right. So if you signed up just for doubles, like gender doubles, you play one game for that day, and if you make it, then you wait till the next day to play your next round or your next match. Right. And so theoretically, if you only played one division, you would have one game a day, which is honestly kind of lame.
And you could be there for 5-6 days having to play that one event.
Right. And if you played all, if you played more events, you played 2 events or 3 events, then you'd have 3 games per day, which is a little bit better, I would say.
But also it's weird because now you're having to change your mindset. You're going from singles to mixed to men's or to women's, right? Like, that's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is weird. And I don't know, maybe they're doing this so that the players stay more fresh, or maybe that'll incentivize people to play all the events so you're more fresh for each event. But also it's very cost prohibitive if you're not making a lot of money or you don't have sponsors to get you through the whole week, because that's like you need to come earlier now in the week, right? Like before it was like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and maybe Sunday, but now you have to come like Tuesday, Monday. Like, when do you get days off? Because you need to play an event each day. And then also if you come in like Tuesday or something, you lose, you're like, okay, well, I'm out. And then I go.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Well, I guess I don't know, if you lose, then you're gone, then you could leave. And I guess that's not nearly as bad.
But I mean, it's still, especially if you're booking like an Airbnb or hotel, you essentially have to assume like, okay, because if anyone has, I don't know how many people have seen the tournament schedule. I was trying to pull it up really quick just so I could talk about it a little bit. But the tournament schedule for next year with PPA and MLP got announced, and some of these tournaments are literally a week long. I'm actually trying to find it here. But the ones I think that have, it's right here, I think.
So
yeah, they're literally a week long. Like,
so they're already implementing this change for some of them.
Well,
like for some of the tournaments.
I don't know that for sure. Like, who knows? Maybe nationals will go poorly and they won't do this again. But the tournaments that are a week long are the ones that are a PPA and MLP combined into one thing. So it's a week long. But I don't know. I think it's already fairly cost prohibitive, or you have to have quite a bit of money to even play pro pickleball. Like, qualifier, you have to get there Wednesday or even get there Tuesday. And then if you make it or not make it through the qualifier, and then after that, if you make it through, you might only make one round and then leave. Now you're telling me you got to come on like Monday or something and play one game a day?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was my first question in some of those posts. I commented, I said, well, how do qualifiers work? Is a qualifier still like the whole day?
It would have to be. It would have to be.
Right? Because there's just no way you could fit all that. And I guess that is potentially maybe better for the people who make it through qualifiers, because then, because a qualifier is essentially a tournament before the actual tournament. It's another mini tournament. And so you're already exhausted and tired. So once you go into the main draw, it'll give you time to be a little bit more fresh. But still, it's still very cost prohibitive, for them. And the only people that I feel that they benefit from this are the already established players that are already getting, money or already sponsored, to go in, and traveling is not as cost prohibitive, because now they're more fresh. And granted, like, if they do this, maybe those established players will be more fresh for some of their matches, and that could be better for the spectators, because now you might see higher quality of play potentially because everybody's more fresh. But also, I think that having the endurance to get through a full day and make it to the end is also part of the game and part of the sport.
Right.
And just to see who's most physically fit, right?
Yeah.
But also this this format could also potentially incentivize some of those more established players to also still play singles, because I just feel like left and right, like as soon as the singles players have become established, they stop playing singles because they can get partners now. They get into the main draw, and I don't know. I kind of think that's kind of sad. I know, most people don't care about singles. Most people don't play singles, but I think it is still fun to watch and should be part of the game and part of the sport. But
no, I feel like you get to see some really, really great athleticism from singles, but I definitely agree that I feel like this only benefits the top players. And I don't think it's just think the stage pickleball is in, it doesn't work. Like, let's even say for spectators, are you going to show up on a Monday to watch Ben beat a random guy from a qualifier? No one's going to watch that match.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So
it's going to be empty. The seats are going to be empty.
Yeah, you're not showing up until like whenever the semifinals will be. Like, I don't know. I feel like it makes viewing it a little bit more fragmented. I think it hurts some of the up-and-comers. I think the theory or the thought behind it is great. Well-rested athletes. We don't want them to have to play, 8 matches or however many they have to play in a day. I understand that concept of it, but I think the stage we're in, it just does not work. Like, can you imagine you warm up for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, like including like stretching and all these other things, and you play a 20-minute match, and now you're done for the day? Well, maybe not done if you play other events, but...
Right. But also, some people do complain like, oh, the events take the whole entire day, or they're late, they're there the whole time. Yeah. But, that's what you came there for, right? So, yeah, I think for the most part, it's, at least as it stands right now, just, from the outside kind of looking in, it doesn't seem like a good idea. It doesn't seem like a great idea. And why now? Like, why testing it now? Like, and I just want to know who asked for it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'd be curious to know who asked for it. But
it wasn't broken, but like, what? Yeah, are they trying to fix a problem that we have? Because I feel like they're trying to fix a problem that we don't necessarily have right now.
The one thing I will say that I think kind of makes sense to try it now for nationals is you already have all of the athletes in Dallas from MLP, and nationals is like a week-long event. So it kind of feels like the perfect time to try it when you're already going to have like the most amount of pickleball players at an event ever, because it's nationals. This is probably the biggest pickleball event ever done. And then they're already there. So like, it does feel like it's a good time to try it. However, I don't know how, like, moving forward, if that's going to work.
Yeah. If that's going to be consistent with all the tournaments. Yeah. Right. No, I see what you're saying. I can see what you're saying. And this could be a way to help manage courts as well. Like if more people come and attend these events, and if pros have to essentially share some of these courts with some amateurs, then this could be a good way to manage the court situation, right? Because sometimes people are waiting for courts because there's not enough courts.
Yeah.
But I don't see that the case for every single event.
Yeah.
Right?
I'll be curious to see some, maybe this week after everyone gets back from MLP, maybe we'll hear some pros recap it. And obviously after nationals, I'm sure we'll hear people talk about it. I'm very curious to hear their perspective. But like, I think top guys, if you're like a Ben Johns, you're going to love it. You're like, okay, I get more energy now. But if you're, I don't know, if you're struggling to get by, but you're still like a decent pro, like, I don't think you're going to love it.
No, definitely not. Yeah, just cost, like I said, it's very cost prohibitive, but all the pros are already there, so we'll see. I'd be curious to see them try it at another event where the pros aren't already there.
Yeah.
And I think like the amount of signups will be telling of how well it was taken by the pros.
For sure. All right. Well, last thing we got on here is just a little bit of an MLP recap. Like I said, we pretty much only caught the semifinals and on. I was in California all week, so I wasn't watching MLP. And honestly, for me personally, I don't mind watching some of the earlier rounds. Like, it can be enjoyable, especially when you're at the event. They're fun. Like, a lot of the matches are really good. But this week, like, usually if I'm going to catch it online, semifinals and on is all I usually feel like I need. I don't really feel like I need the group play stuff. Like occasionally you miss some wild stuff, but there's enough recaps. So that's what we watched. We're going to talk about the final. It ended up being DC and Orlando squeeze again, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That was fun to get the rematch.
Yes, the rematch. That was super cool. I will say, though, like, do you feel that having the team format is cool, but can you really call it a team? Because they're just going to redraft everybody again. And I don't know, I have no allegiance to a team, although I did want DC to win this time just because there's a little bit of allegiance because I'm originally from the Washington, DC area. But once they change up the players, like you have no real affinity or loyalty to a team.
How are you gonna do Zane and Anna like that? You don't know anyone on the DC team. You know at least half the people on the squeeze.
This is true, but it is what it is. But also, it's because it's the rematch. You wanted them to. I didn't want. You need the split. So maybe here's the thing. I want the split now. So then maybe on the third time
they can rematch again, and it's the best 2 out of 3.
Exactly. You need that. That's the story. You want that for pickleball. Honestly, spoiler alert. I didn't want a clean sweep.
Yeah.
In the finals.
Yeah. Usually you put the spoiler before you say the spoiler.
Well, you can edit it in. It's fine. Just do it. Editor, do that. There you go. Easy. They haven't heard this yet.
He says easy when he doesn't have to edit the podcast, guys.
Exactly, because so it's easy. It's easy. I wasn't lying. It was easy.
That's
for
so
me.
Funny. But I will say I was hoping we were gonna get the same exact story as last time, because that's how
that would have been cool.
That would have been legendary because they started down 0-2. The women's match was really close. They were actually up for a portion of it, and then they kind of fell off, and then DC took it. Men's, they just got absolutely blown out, which I can't remember the last MLP, but I thought it was something kind of similar to that. Anyways, in the third game, dude, that was pickleball. Like
that was crazy.
Some of the highest level pickleball I feel like I've ever seen. Like these overheads. You
saw everything.
Literally everything. Like the tension.
Resets, firefights, speed ups,
head
crazy
shots.
recoveries, headshots, Ernie's, like stare downs. You got it all.
Yeah. Dude, Riley, that was some of the best I've ever seen him play.
Yeah, it's about time.
Dude, like his hands, I just felt like you could not hit a ball through him. Like it was coming back, and it was coming back with a lot of speed. Like felt like he just played out of his mind.
He did definitely play it out of his mind, but also, I mean, all of them played out of their minds. Deescu, he's fast. Like he doesn't look like because he looks like he moves kind of sluggish, but he is so fast. His hands are so quick. Anna Wright, I mean, obviously you got the intensity, that you can expect from Anna. Dude, she was about to like eat somebody alive. I was like, oh my gosh, when they zoomed in on after she would win or something, I was like, oh, I do not.
Dude, she is built for MLP.
I know. Dude, Zane and Anna, those two are like built for MLP. They're the best to have like on a team. I think they bring some of the best energy on the team for sure. And then of course, you got the Kawamotos. They're like MLP veteran. Like they are so steady.
They're so
like
solid.
Oh my gosh. The resets that they're getting back was nuts. Against Deescu, man, just incredible pickleball. And then Rachel too.
Dude,
like
she's an animal.
MLP. Oh my gosh.
Like
she does not care.
It does not matter who's in front of her. It doesn't matter if it's Ben. It doesn't matter if it's Riley. It does not matter who it is. She just lights them up. Like she is crazy. Her forehand cross-court dink just looks like it has so much time. Did you see the lob she hit in the middle of dinking?
I saw the lobs.
Dude.
Yeah.
The one she hit where she was like in the middle of forehand cross-court dinking, it looked the exact same, and she just hits a lob that goes over Ben and Jesse, and they don't even move. It was like they just froze and watched the ball land like 2 feet inside the baseline. I was like,
yeah.
That was the best lob I've ever seen in pickleball. Like they just stood there. They did not move a foot.
It was so clean, but also Rachel's backhands too, like everything. Like she don't swing to her backhand. Her counters on her backhand side is absolutely nuts. And then also Zane was playing out of his mind as well. He was hitting some spots like with his like backhand flick that I haven't seen in a while. Like he was just going left, right behind people. Yeah, no, it was good semis and it was good. I mean, good finals. Even though the score was a lot closer. I mean, the score was not as close, but the play was. It honestly, some of those matches could have gone either way.
Yeah,
that's what was crazy.
Yeah, I definitely
and, didn't in the finals. Didn't Descu and Bright did they have match point at one point?
They did. I think they were up 2018 or 2017.
Yeah. What do you think about this? The freeze, the no freeze on 18, just freeze on 20.
I'm fine with it. Honestly, I really did not mind the freeze before. I know a lot of people are like, it's so arbitrary. Like, why do we do that? Like, dude, half the things in our life feel arbitrary. Like, why did we land on 40 and 30 for grit? Why did we land on what we did for it doesn't even have to be pickleball. You can name a million things. It always feels arbitrary for lots of different things. But anyways, it never really bothered me. I'm fine with how it is now. Like, I could take it or leave it either way and not be upset. But I think more people like the no freeze because it's easier to follow.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like it. I like the freeze only at 20. Just easier to explain.
Yeah, for sure. There was something I was gonna say. Oh, dude, they gotta get rid of the horns. I hate the horns.
I don't really notice it. You mean the horns after
the point? It's so loud.
After the point.
Dude, I hate it. I like listening to. Here's the thing. Maybe it's better in person, but in the stream, for some reason, I don't even feel like I get irritated by noises very easy. But something about this that just makes me want to punch my computer monitor. So MLP, if you're listening, stop these horns because I hate it. I hate it.
Tell us in the comments if you like or dislike the horns. We'll see if MLP will listen to Chris or you guys.
I hope. It's terrible. I'd be curious to hear it in person because I feel like it would be equally as annoying, but maybe not. I don't know. Could be better, but I'm not a fan.
I didn't really notice it. Yeah, I don't even remember the horns. I was like, huh.
Dang, you have a level of being able to tune things out that I don't, apparently.
I mean, well, yeah, but also it's just like consuming a lot of sports, I guess, or just watching a lot of sports, or just growing up watching sports or playing sports. So I don't know, the horn is just whatever.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, I mean, fair enough, but yeah, I definitely don't like it. I will say though, you know who needs a new paddle?
Who?
Andre, because that man cannot put a ball away with that proton. Somebody put a gearbox in this guy's hand, please. Somebody.
There's definitely. Have you played with it? Do you have it?
I don't have it. I only got to hit one, and I don't even know which model it was, but someone in Minnesota had one, and I hit a serve with it, and I was like very not impressed from that one serve. Of course, I would need more hitting, but I don't know. Doesn't strike me as a special paddle at all. They make a lot of bold claims from what I've seen, and maybe if I tested it more thoroughly, I'd be surprised, but I was not impressed from that one. And I have not heard of anybody. I talked to a lot of people in this industry. I've talked to people who hit that thing. I don't think I've seen anyone that's like, especially someone who's even a sponsored player that's like, yeah, that man, Proton, really glad I'm using that. Like, I have not heard that. In fact, some people I've talked, I'm not going to say that. We're not gonna. No.
Give us the deets.
Because I don't want to get any. I don't want to get any players in trouble.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, dang. Well, there's not too many of them signed by him, so I guess they can narrow it down pretty easily.
That's why I'm not gonna say anything.
Okay. I tried, guys.
Yeah, you tried. But yeah, somebody get this guy I thought I saw his whole head wrapped in lead. I'm like, dude, this guy had a gearbox. If you watch the point where Anna gets nailed in the face, Andre had a couple balls that he for sure could have put away. Dude, you put a gearbox in that guy's hand? No way that ball's coming back on those overheads.
Yeah. Or even put what he played with 002 before.
Yeah, he had a 002. Yep.
Yeah. You put it away with that. Well, I don't know. I can't say anything because I'm never hit with that proton paddle. So
yeah,
couldn't tell you.
I don't know the power level of it or anything, but I will say I was like, dang, his put away power is looking a lot like mine right now, and I got a big stat boost when I switched to the gearbox. So maybe this guy can. If I went from 4.5 to 5.0 with the gearbox, Andre might go from like 6.0 to 7.0 with the gearbox.
Okay. Well, speaking of the gearbox, when you went to California, I think you told me that you did hit with a bunch of other people's.
I hit with like at least
paddles.
It's like 4 of them
to compare. So is it true then that like some of them feel like they don't hit as powerful, or because that's what everybody's saying online?
Yeah.
Is that true, or what's your?
So what's
the results of your findings?
Here's what I found on this trip. First, there was one that was brand new when I went to iPickle, and the guy that I was playing with, right side Will, he's at least 5.0 plus. I think he plays pro qualifiers, and like he's a very good player. He's not just some rookie. He could not keep a ball in the court with the gearbox when he picked it up. It wasn't even mine. It was a brand new one. I hit that one, still thought it hit hard. Now, what I will say is if you hit mine and you hit that one, you can tell a clear difference. Everyone who picks it up is like, oh, okay. Like you can just feel it. So I have tried very hard to trace back through my entire time with this paddle. Like when I got it, how did I feel? How was it, like, did it change over time? And the conclusion that I've come to for the time being is that they definitely change as you hit them more, which Raphael has told me they do break in. I didn't hear about this until after the review, of course. But it definitely changes. And I talked to another player who got one or was sponsored by them. And I was like, hey, did yours change over time? Like, did it kind of hit harder? And he was like, oh, yeah. Like, I have a second one that I just got, and it doesn't hit as hard, but that's how mine was when I got it. And that's how I remember mine as well, because what I've been telling people on this trip is when I got it, I could control it very well. I didn't struggle that much. As I used it more, it got a little bit more difficult, and I was kind of like, maybe I'm just having a bad day. I also added lead. Like, there was a lot of things changing. The weather was changing. But now I'm realizing that it was most likely the paddle was just like starting to hit a little bit harder. So yeah, it sounds like they just change as they break in and they change. So I'm going to get 2 more for myself, and then I'm going to...
You're going to test them out?
Yeah, I'm going to break them in, see if I can get them to the same place. But all of that to say, I hit a bunch of them, and they all still hit hard. It's not like... It still hits hard. I don't know. It's just like I used it and I was like,
even brand new.
Yeah, I would still play with that same paddle and I would still have a good time with it. So while it wasn't quite the level of mine, I think they will get there as you play with it more. I think it's kind of weird that that's how this paddle might play out. Like, it'd be kind of nice if it just stayed one way. But yeah, I hit a bunch of them, and that's the conclusion I'm at right now.
Okay, good. You guys heard it here first.
Definitely
Chris
bring yours to nationals,
confirmed.
Because I want to hit yours and see like how yours feels relative to mine and the other ones that I hit.
Yeah, I'll bring mine. I'll bring mine to nationals. I'm pretty sure mine is broken in, but
yeah,
we'll see. I don't know. I haven't hit with yours substantially, but I think yours might hit because you've hit with it a lot more than I have, so it might. So we'll see. Yeah, I'll definitely bring it for you. No problem.
Yeah. So it was kind of interesting to get to go over like hitting all these different gearboxes and try and just get to the bottom of whatever the heck might be going on. But part of me also thinks that like there was just too high of expectations, maybe. Like, I don't know if people just thought like they were going to hold their paddle there and it was just going to like pelt their friends in the chest or something. Like, you still have to, like, it's not actually going to make you like from a 3.5 to a 4.5 or whatever. But I don't know. I've tried to think about, I even rewatched my review. I was like, did I say anything wrong in this? Like, could I have phrased something better? And like, I don't know. I thought I said everything pretty fairly in my review. Like, I don't know. It's just very interesting. This whole launch has been interesting to see, like, has it been the paddle? Were people's expectations? I don't know. But yeah, paddles are complicated. That's the bottom
why we
line.
have
Paddles are
jobs.
complicated. Yeah, that's why we have jobs.
Yeah,
that's why we have jobs.
That's why we have jobs. All right. Well, I mean, that's pretty much it for this episode. Unless you got something else you want to tack on, Chris.
Man, I don't know. I didn't set a timer to see how long we've been going. I don't even know if this was long enough for our LA traffic folk.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, if we didn't make it. Yeah, we apologize in advance.
We didn't make it through your whole commute.
Yeah, probably not. Some other people's commute. You know what? Here, they can put on 2 episodes. That's what it is.
But what if they've already listened? What if they've listened to every single episode?
They can just listen to it again.
Do you know what we should do?
There you go.
We should both listen to our first podcast episode again, because I wonder if like our chemistry or our interactions have changed much since like episode 1.
It's probably changed a little bit. I would say so. Yeah, we can listen to it. I remember our first conversation, and we just did it in your apartment.
Yep.
Like horrible lighting.
Yep.
We called it we didn't even have the name for it. The name for it was the Not a Pickleball podcast.
Which is hilarious because it was all we did was talk about pickleball. So the title didn't even really fit.
Well, it didn't fit, but I think that's why it was funny to me. That's why I called it that. Not a Pickleball podcast. But yeah, it'd be curious to see our origin story.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and listen to that today. I think because now I just want to see like if I hear anything, I'm like, oh man, we got better at this, or maybe we got worse at something. Who knows? Maybe we got worse.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, if you guys listen, thanks for tuning in, and maybe we'll catch you guys at Nationals.
Yeah.
If you're going to be there.
Come say hi.
Looking forward to it. Yeah, come say hi. All right, we'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.
Yep. Later.